No, I'm going to start today. This isn't necessarily for those people that are in this room. This is more for an online community that's trying to create narratives that simply don't exist, trying to create a fabrication or distortion of who I am, of what I'm about. Our players' success, our players' health and wellness, our players' safety is always a top priority for me. One of the things I pride myself on is my relationships with players. For those who have anything to say about the play in the last game, I didn't see the play in real time. I went straight to a press conference. I thought the play got called right. Thankfully, Sophie's okay. Was it egregious? Absolutely. When you have a chance to watch that over and over and over on replay, you can see that. I didn't have that in real time.
Were there any
I take personally any suggestions that I don't 100% always have my players back. I ride with them 10 toes down all the time. All the time. They know that. It's a shame that we can't have an opportunity to talk about what great basketball they're playing. Because they are f***ing playing. The reality is, with me, I will always lead with love. I will always lead with grace. I will always lead with humility. And I will always lead with integrity. Doesn't mean I'll always get it right. I'm also human. The hate, the fear-mongering, the divisiveness, the stuff that's trying to hijack our league will not win. It won't win. We are united. We are connected. We will not be divided. Every day these women put their on the line. Every day. When they go low, we go high. Love will win. Grace will win. Humility will win. And kindness will win. I stand by them. I will always stand by them. Everybody else can go to hell.
They like me. They really, really, really like me. And the Academy Award for the Martyr Best Supporting Actress goes to Indiana head coach Stephanie White, as we welcome you into a Thursday edition of On Cue. Rich Quinones here. I don't even know. What did I just see? Folks, somebody tell me, what exactly did I just see? I felt like I was watching Sally Field up there and then smacking the table, talking about, love's gonna conquer all. This woman is so friggin' delusional. Get in early on the conversation. Like, comment, subscribe. Play nice as always on a Thursday afternoon edition of On Cue. Rich Quinones here. I don't even know what the hell that was. If you don't believe right now that this woman is friggin' certifiable, that this woman is mental, is crazy, needs to be fired, I don't even know. If you haven't changed your stance, I don't know how in the world you can watch that presser the other day. That BS of a press conference, a flat out manufactured lie, talking about not seeing plays in real time, talking about, hate mongering is going to hijack the league. And, when you go high, we go high, and love will win. No, it won't. Grace will win. You don't have any. Humility will win. You've never been taught that. Kindness will win. And then you turn around and tell everyone to freaking go to hell? Are you kidding me with this woman? Please. For those that have been killing me over the last month plus saying this woman has no business coaching this team, have you changed your tune? Have you changed your mind? The Academy Award, the Oscar, here it goes. I mean, you got to be kidding me. By the way, that was Sports Personality of the Year for those that like to troll. But anyway, the Academy Award. I mean, get her out of here with this nonsense. Did your opinion change the other night of Stephanie White? Did it actually make you think worse of Stephanie White after what you saw the other night? It's bad enough. It is bad enough. That's great. They get the win, and we've got some good games, over the last several days, and we've seen some good basketball, and we can talk about the MVP conversation. We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about hoops-wise on this Thursday, right? But the WNBA, that's another thing I'm going to get into. Their task force is meeting to discuss what qualifies someone as a woman for league eligibility, and by the way, they can't decide it. You throw out the friggin' W. But how in the world can you guys sit here on a Thursday and argue with me that this woman, that you are glossing over this woman's nuttiness, because that's all it is. She's certifiable. She does not have these players' backs. And don't give me the nonsense today about this is players' fault. This has nothing to do with the players on the Indiana Fever. This has nothing to do with the Caitlin Clarks, the Cunninghams, the Boston. It has nothing. Mitchell, no. I don't want to hear that. Because players, when they're put in that precarious position, I got news for you. They're going to have to defend the coach. They're going to have to defend the coach. But that was a Oscar-worthy performance. And then she ends it with, everyone can go to hell. Are you kidding me? Everyone can go to hell? I mean, I'm telling you, that was absolutely, that was beyond contrived. The script, I mean, what are we doing? You're banging on the table? You're banging on the table like in Jack, like a few good men. Give me the truth. You can't handle the truth, Steph? Folks, I don't care if this team goes deep in the playoffs. I don't care if this team wins a championship with this woman. At the end of the season, you've got no choice. They're not doing anything now. This woman is so dangerous for this league, period. 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 Like, you guys want to sit there, and I'm going to get to the comments because I see they're coming in fast and furious. A couple things I want to know on this Thursday. I want to hear from you guys, as always. I want to hear from you guys. Did your opinion change? Do you look at her now and say, oh my God, she really is certifiable? And where are we placing the blame? I can't believe some people want to blame the players for this nonsense and this debacle. And then you get people getting so tired of this team getting all the shine and all the exposure. The league itself, everything this woman said is the complete opposite of what this league represents. There is no love. There is no grace. There is no charity. There's no kindness. There's no humility. And then basically she's telling everyone can go to hell. And she still has a job. And the ownership comes out and they back her. Then they're more certifiable. Oh my God. If you are some of these players after this season, do not sign an extension. Walk. Get out of here with this nonsense. This woman is the crux, the problem of this league and their line of thinking. How do you not see it? How are you still defending her? How are you still defending this woman? You want to rip the critics? You want to blame everyone but yourself? You want to talk about the fans? You want to talk... I got news for you. Blame the friggin' WNBA media or lack thereof. Go blame ESPN. That absolutely spews hate, and all they do is add insult to injury. They throw gasoline on the fire, and you want to sit there and accept your Martyr Award and then, be so demonstrative and smack on the table? Oh, you're certifiable, woman. You got to go. I mean, put the cuckoo back in the friggin' clock, will you? United, connected, not going to be denied it. No, you're not united. You're not connected, and you're already friggin' divided, you goofy. The love will win. The grace will win. Just, it took it to another level for me. It went to another level. Because she is flat out a liar. She is certifiable. This woman is scary. Get her away from this team. Get her away from these players. I'm sorry. You can't condone those actions. It's bad enough you sit there and you say you didn't see the call in real time. You're a friggin' coach. You saw it. You're right there. This isn't the NFL where Belichick's not worried about the friggin' offense. He's talking to the defense and his back's turned to the field. You're right there, courtside. I mean, how do you sit there? This woman is such a snake. She is such a snake and a flat-out liar. Absolute liar. I was giving her grace due to the winning and CeCe's approval and endorsements of her. What is she going to say, Pete? She's got to. This was a true game changer. Worse than the rant after Thomas flagrant foul, which White defended. Which, it's worse. It's worse. This is, I've had people that have been commenting, sitting there saying, you're soft with your take on the foul. It was a garbage foul. And oh, by the way, did you see? Last night, the same crap happened with this player. If she was ejected, she's not on the floor last night to hammer another player, but that's a story for another day or later on. You cannot have a league that has coaches think like this. coaches coach like this, their mentality, their mindset, their ego, the narrative and agenda that they push, they're so dangerous. All they're doing is causing more friction. Do we not see that by now? And then to sit there and bang on the table in your Oscar-worthy performance? It is absolutely, it's so narrative and agenda driven. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely comical at this point. There is no way in hell that I want to play for this woman. Not at all. Not at all. There's absolutely no way. And Caitlin Clark, for those ripping Caitlin Clark, what is she going to sit there? What is she going to do? What is she going to say? She's actually doing something that few do at times. She's stepping up. She finally says something, and we're still bitching, whining, and complaining. She's actually defending her head coach, which I don't think she had to. But she's doing it. Why? Because that's who she is. She's backing the embattled coach, who, oh, by the way, let's call it for what it is. Sitting there, with your Academy Award, trying to win your friggin' Oscar. You know what she's doing? She's covering her own hiney. That's all she's doing. She is covering her own ass because she realized she's on borrowed time. And the fact that this organization gives her a free pass and they are backing her tells you how much clueless or more clueless the organization is as a whole. It's a cluster, and they're still winning basketball games. Go figure. It's an utter cluster. Who the hell wants to play for an organization like this? I wouldn't. You got some bad seeds from top to bottom. How are you guys not seeing it? This coach, again, is the problem. This coach is the problem. She's not fit to coach anyone, let alone a professional team in this league that is already divided and divisive. I have no idea. Again, you get those pre-game, they're allotted X amount of minutes. They're going to say what they say. We know it's contrived. We know it's scripted. There's going to be no pushback from the media. That was just a crock of BS. That's all that was. It was a crock of BS. Opinion change. It's gone from bad to worse. She's a coward. When things don't go her way, she's angry and hateful. Tells you a lot about a person. That's my thought exactly. She's always been like this. She was like this in Vanderbilt. She's been like this Vanderbilt. She's not a good person. She's harmful to this organization. She's harmful to this franchise. She is harmful. These players, I don't care what you tell me. Body language is everything. They don't want to play for this woman. They don't. They play because it's their friggin' job and they've got pride and they want to get paid. But if you back them all in a corner, that entire roster, I would say 85 to 90% can't stand this woman. Can't stand this woman. There's utterly no head coach in any league, any other league, that you allow this nonsense to go on. And for those that are sitting there, about the players going to back the coach, it's not their job, but she did because it shows you she's a pro. This is not excusing her, giving her a fair pass, free pass. What do you want her to say up there? And did you notice how White basically backtracked, walked back her comments? And oh, by the way, I got news for you. The biggest threat to this league, okay, it's not the players. Yes, it's these coaches and the way they think, but it's also not the fans. It's also former players who preach sisterhood and all this other garbage and nonsense, who haven't had a cup of coffee in the WNBA, and they constantly piss on players like Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham, and we know why, and they defend players like Thomas Reese and Carrington, and we know why. It's the media. Yes, I got news for you. Players make mistakes. They turn the basketball over. They miss shots. So when said players make mistakes, you get an army of jackass analysts and media. They got to dissect every single solitary play. They got to condemn it. They don't condone it. They stick them in the corner. They punish them. No food, small rations, see you in a couple weeks. That's the problem. And you get these former players that will side with the coaches, and now you know that line, it's not even been drawn in the sand. It's been crossed. It's been crossed. You, under no circumstances, if you're on ESPN, if you're on one of these shows and you're talking head, and you sit there and talk about, we always say the brotherhood of the NFL, the NBA. If you're talking about the, quote, sisterhood of the WNBA, okay, that's all well and good. But then you turn around and you selectively decide who you're going to rip and who you're going to back. That's beyond polarizing. That's beyond vindictive. That's absolutely beyond doing more damage to the product. Seriously. Like, stop protecting certain players from friggin' criticism. Every player, if they play poorly, deserves to be criticized. If they all play well, then yes, you can acknowledge it and give them their props. And these head coaches, they feed into the media narrative. So it's like a domino effect. When you have a coach in white that sits up there and, by her own admission, backs several players she's coached in the past who are so friggin' dirty. They are beyond dirty. If you don't think they are, don't give me this crap. It's a basketball place. Toughen up. Don't be so soft. Now, malicious intent. Hello, 823 threat that no one is still talking about when these two teams play again. But when you have a head coach that the first thing out of her mouth is back the player that injured one of her current players or fouled one of her current players because you coached them in the past, that is a problem. Did you notice what she said the other day? It's exactly what I said she should have said. Hard foul, doesn't condone it. Thankfully, Sophie's okay. But she chose not to go that route because she is not a leader. She's not a critical thinker. She's all about agenda. She's all about saving her ass. She doesn't want to lose her job. So she knows I'm going to curry favor with the former player that I coach. That's nonsense, man. That is absolutely nonsense. And I'm telling you right now, this league, they need to really clean up the garbage. You can't have players threatening other players. You can't have players going on social and tweeting what they do. You can't have players who are not assessed certain fouls and then suspended. You're going to allow this goofball to play on the 23rd. You're asking for trouble. You are asking for trouble. You're asking for a friggin' all-out brawl on the floor. That's exactly what's going to happen because that kid decided she's going to seek and destroy and go right after Cunningham. And you can't tell me anything different. And then for that head coach to stand up there first time around and defend that was a fireable offense. Fireable offense. Mad that your diatribe shenanigans didn't work. Well, I'm not sure about that. CC has to back the coach. Period. And WNBA didn't tell the bigots to kick rocks. The WNBA, they're the racist ones. I got news for you, brother. They're the racists. They're the bigots. They're the biggest racists out there, the WNBA, and how they handle stuff. Are you kidding me? And they allow the media, they credential media, who pushes that crap, that narrative. Come on, man. We are so far gone right now. It's utterly, it's just ridiculous. It is beyond black and white, gay and straight. There's just hate in this league. I said it the other day. Maybe Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday we talked NFL. I said it on Monday. Then I was shooting a content yesterday, doing a little docudrama, which was cool for a basketball league. But we talked about it earlier in the week. There's nothing but hate in this league. That's all it is. Everybody wants to win the cultural war. Everyone wants to win the race war. You guys want to sit there and say, see, I told you, no problem. Nothing to see here. Move along. Stop. You're living in a bubble. You are naive. You are the problem. Acknowledge it. This goes beyond black, white, gay, straight. There is legit hatred coming out of players' mouths. There is legit hatred coming down of these out of these head coaches. There is a commissioner that's complicit in all of this, that is incompetent. I don't know if you guys are watching the same thing I am, or you just don't want to acknowledge it. That's the problem. You guys want to sit there and say, Q, you can push your own narrative. We know where you're coming from. The hell you friggin' do. The hell you do. Can we just have a serious conversation for a second? Seriously, because I know people get very sensitive to certain topics, and they get very sensitive when we talk about gay, straight, when we talk about black, white. But let's just call it for what it is. Let's stop living under a rock. Let's have a man up conversation. You know, can we get the friggin' adults in the room for a second? This league is all about hate. It is driven by hate. It is not driven by kindness. It is not driven by love. It is not driven by support. It's not driven by competitive spirit and passion for the game. The league gets eyeballs because it's full of hate. And like that car crash that you don't want to slow down to watch, what do? You slow down and you watch it. It's gone to the point where every player now, it almost seeps through their subconscious. A harder foul, a look, a finger point, banging around, not helping somebody off the floor. This is what they've caused. This is now schoolyard basketball. This is now the parents are at home. There's no coaches, no whistle, and it's a friggin' free-for-all. And if we throw hands, we're going to throw hands. That's the product you want to support. And when you have a head coach, a prominent head coach that won in college, coached in college, played in the league, worked at ESPN, won in the league, and now has a very good team that she is in control of, when she sits up there and says kindness will prevail and then everyone go to hell, how is that not fireable? Do you understand the message that she is basically sending? She is giving an FU to every fan, to everyone that wants to support the product and buy in. She's telling you, FU, my way. If you don't like it, take a friggin' walk. I mean, come on, man. Stop. You gotta wake up. You have to wake up and acknowledge this league. It's one of the worst leagues I've ever seen ever in my life, ever. It's not even about the product on the floor. It is a friggin' free-for-all. It's beyond a train wreck. Forget about that roller coaster stuck at the top. It's like these players go out of their way to hate. These coaches go out of their way to hate. These fans go out of their way to hate. This commissioner turns a blind eye to everything. Everything. And you want to support that product? Man, I'm telling you right now, boycott this crap. Boycott it. That was not an impassioned, inspiring speech. That was just dribble and just agenda-driven, ego-driven rhetoric. That's all it was. That's all that was. And you want to support that product? You want to support this team under that leadership? Have at it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Enjoy it. Let me tell me how it works out for you. Tell me how this is eventually going to end. The league does not need to employ coaches that think like that, people that think like that. This league needs a friggin' cleansing, like in the friggin' movie The Poltergeist. You need the old lady to come in here and sit there and say, this league is clean. Seriously. And I'm so tired of the media. I really am. I am so tired of what I see with some of these other shows, because I know you guys watch a lot of content and you guys are passionate about the sport of basketball and you're passionate about this league and you give me your time. You come on and I absolutely love it, and you debate and we go back and forth and we talk serious stuff, right? We don't friggin' sugarcoat it. But man, some of the crap that some of you guys tag me with, I don't want to look at that shit. You got a bunch of punks and thugs that are trying to push something to you. Don't buy in. Don't feed it. Don't give in. They're going to try to feed the masses. It's utter nonsense. You cannot tell me, if you had any freaking common sense, any ounce of dignity, any ounce of humanity, if you had any type of morals, if you had any type of street smarts, you can sit up there and watch that woman the other day and actually buy what she's selling you, then you have a serious problem. You have a serious problem. No one's sitting here saying you have to hate the woman or hate the product, but it's hateable. It's not watchable. You don't make it an enjoyable experience. So when I have to sit up there and we're going back and forth and we're talking the X's and O's and the merits of how someone's playing, that's what it's all about. Winning and losing and shot selection and turnovers and assist to ratio and the MVP conversation, the product on the floor. This league has not allowed for us to talk about that constantly and consistently and without bias or prejudice. They won't, because every day it's other crap. Listen, there's no way you don't suspend that kid. So she's out there doing the same bullshit last night. But we haven't heard anything from the league about the tweet. Do you see where I'm going with this? You are allowing players now to run the asylum. Forget about the warden, forget about the prison. It's all about the inmates now. It is a free-for-all. And you guys sit there and you might laugh. You might think I'm soft. You might think I'm getting a little too carried away. Maybe I don't have enough or too much fresh roasted coffee. What the hell is going to happen when these two teams play 8-23? What, is she not going to play Cunningham? She's not going to have her come off the bench? Or what happens when Carrington takes a swing at another player or Mitchell? Or she drills Clark going to the lane, and then all of a sudden, bench is clear. Then all of a sudden, fans spew onto the court. We haven't seen that before? In a basketball game? They're so afraid, collectively, to do what's right. And I can't respect that. I can't. This woman doubled down on stupid. And you know I can't stand using that word, but I'm pissed off. She doubled down. She sat out there and she had this friggin' scripted up nonsense Oscar-winning performance. You know, the Academy, oh my God, they never gave me my recognition. Here's my moment to friggin' shine. 2 minutes and 30-something odd seconds. We'll get in, we'll get out before we get the old hook. Remember Jim Carrey in The Mask when you have the award and you sit there and you don't know which way to go and they walk you off the stage? And she gave you lies. She handed you lies. She's sitting there telling fib after fib, BS after BS, and some people are applauding it. Ah, Jesus God. I got swampland to sell you. How in the world can we sit here on a Thursday, and then going into the weekend with some of these games and say to ourselves, you know what, this league's going to be okay? It's not. The end is coming near for this league. And I got news for you. When a coach says that and they get the microphone in players' faces, what do you think the player's going to say? It's still their livelihood. They're not going to say something derogatory. You know it and I know it. But to actually think for 1 second that she truly cares about her players, she truly cares about their well-being, she truly cares about the health and safety, you guys are going down a very, 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 very dark place with this league. Yeah, I give her the Razzie. Worst performance, exactly. Move over. Holly Berry got one. Jennifer Lopez got one. Ben Affleck got a couple of them. Yeah, absolutely. Move over, man. I don't know how in the world you can support this. I don't. And I cannot blame the players. Total woke BS. We are united. We love each other. For everybody. I mean, that's exactly what she said. That's exactly what she said. You might as well just go outside and kick me in the freaking nuts and call it a day, DB. That's exactly what she did. Can't expect Cece or Sophie to bash their coach. They acted like adults. Exactly. That's exactly what they did. You know what's so funny about watching this? This is where I have a problem with everything. She is trying so hard to be taken serious. And you can't. You can't. You cannot take anyone that acts like that serious. And as much as you guys might disagree with me, and you're entitled to that, watch what happens the 23rd, because no one is talking about that. Was a veiled friggin' threat from a player that has a history of being dirty. We already know how these fans are. These fans are goofy. These fans are absolutely goofy. You have to take the high road if you're a player sometimes, because at the end of the day, you might be a free agent. You might walk. You might sign with another team. The last thing other pending teams look out are players that are going to rip their coaches. It's funny, they can tolerate the racial nonsense and the flagrant fouls and the dirtiness and the nastiness, but God forbid you rip a coach and you're untouchable. Go figure. What league are we living in? She can't really say anything. She unleashed the sisterhood against CC, which she's had enough. Did you notice that McNuts wasn't on the broadcast the other night? Thank friggin' God. I wanted to watch that game in peace. And it was a good game, and it was another good win, and everyone got involved. SW not seeing the play. She's getting ready for her next. Yeah. Mark, you got it, brother. Yeah. How do you... I can't imagine a head coach in any basketball league, and if you've watched basketball, or you've gone to games, or you've played the game, and we've all done it, and I call the games and covered it. Where I sit broadcast-wise, even if I'm not doing the overseas stuff, I got the benches right there, the scorer's table. I'm seeing these coaches. They're watching every friggin' thing that goes on in a game. And she's going to sit here and tell me she didn't see the play, and ownership is giving her a free pass. And oh, by the way, now you got, again, from a political standpoint, now you're starting to kind of wake up the beast, because you have other people now starting to weigh in Indiana that they want this woman gone. Delia chimes in. Apparently, it takes a bunch of women to know what a woman is. Q, loving your show and your passion. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. Is this, the biggest controversy in all of sports over the last 50 years is a league that is a female basketball league, the WNBA, the last time I checked, and their inability to define what a woman is. You cannot make... Where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong? They had official meetings yesterday on what a woman is, and they end... Now, mind you, I need some more of this. Hold on. The powers that be had official, with the Austin Powers quotes, I know some of you guys like that, official meetings yesterday on what a woman is, and they end those collective meetings without a decision being made on what a woman is. Is this like a bizarro world? Are we in another world, another age? Can somebody please spell it out to me like I'm a child? I can't. Meta! What's going on, Meta? SW simply can't handle the truth. But she had her Academy Award. Right? Did you order that code red? You're damn right I did. Did you order that code red? You're damn right I did. You want the truth, Meta? You can't handle the truth. Indiana Fever needs someone with NBA coaching experience. Go CC from Austria. Appreciate that. I always ask you, too, when you chime in, what the time difference is. That was a hostage video. Might be the comment of the day thus far, David. Well played. Well played. Okay, Rich. Wow. You going Capital? I do not want to hear any more about CC as a victim of white. She endorsed her. Pete. When I say your name 3 times, it's not like friggin', what's his name? The guy with the hook. The candy man. Peter. Please. That's a lot of P's in there. Please. Stop with the Caitlin Clark victim. You're not getting it. You're not getting it. What do you want a friggin' player to do? Would you have loved for Caitlin Clark to sit up there and say, You know, the more I think about it, my head coach is a friggin' jackass. She manipulated my minutes. She's sabotaging my career. She obviously doesn't like me. She's placating towards Kay Mitchell, who, oh, by the way, I get her involved in the offense. And you know what? After the shoe drops in October, I'm out of here. Is that what you wanted her to say? What did you want her to say? Like, you've got such a, I'm sorry, I got to call it out. You've got such an agenda towards Caitlin Clark. Everyone knows it. I love your comments. I love when you engage. You bring stuff to the table. You make us think a little bit. You troll a little bit. We have a little fun. But what did you want her to do? She's a victim because of the way the league treats her. She is a victim because of the way her coach coaches her. The media covers her. The media handles her. The referee, they don't officiate her properly. So yeah, I'm sorry. She is a victim. But she plays through it, and she continues to put up historic friggin' numbers that nobody wants to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about. Oh, by the way, another 22-10. I know, double-doubles don't mean anything. Yeah, it only took one player 700 games, and she did it in 50. Whatever. Just stop. You got to be fair. You got to be objective. You're not being objective right now. What player, give me a sport at any time where a player in the history of watching sports, because you are a sports fan, you are a knowledgeable sports fan, but give me a time over the last 20, 30 years where you actually had a franchise marquee player basically destroy the head coach. I'm not talking about lunatic diva wide receivers, but seriously, what do you want her to say? She's a leader. That's what leaders do. They lead by friggin' example. She doesn't need to back the coach. Players don't have to back the coach, but she chose to back the coach because that's the right thing to do. So when the coach had an opportunity to do the same friggin' thing, she decided to not do it. She took the coward's way out. She defended a former player that she coached. And you're gonna throw Clark back at me? Just stop. Just stop with the nonsense. Seriously. Just stop. This is who this kid is. You can punch her in the face. You can spit on her. You can trip her. You can foul her. And you know what she's going to do? She's going to get up and she's going to nail a dagger 3 right in your face and smile. And people can't take it. They can't stand it. They can't stand when people get friggin' knocked down and they keep getting up. That's called character. All the coach had to do the other day, it's very simple. All she had to do was sit up there in 30 seconds or less. Let me address the foul. Bad foul, warrant an ejection. I coached her. I don't condone it. I'll let the league handle it. Thankfully, Sophie's okay. Good for her for getting up and getting in her face. I probably would have done the same thing. I always have my players back. That took me 19 seconds to say. But she didn't want to do that. She's not fit to coach. Any other league, male, female, I don't care. You're out of a job. I would say the same thing if it was any other league or a team that I follow. Get her off this team. But now you get the support of ownership because it's all about P&L. It's all about the bottom line. This coach dicked around with Caitlin Clark early in their year with the ministry restriction. Why? Because you want fannies in the friggin' seats. You stick this kid on another team with a competent head coach, sky's the limit. Just stop, man. I'm so tired of this nonsense. Like, again, you don't have to like every player in this league. You don't. But if you are going through a list of the culprits, it's the commissioner first and foremost, then it's the media, then it's the officiating, then it's the head coach, and then it's these players. And the players also carry a lot of weight because they can turn around and play the game of basketball the right way. They choose not to. There's a select few that play the game the right way. This girl Carrington is a punk. I'm sorry. She's a dirty, dirty player. She's a dirty player, and she did it again last night. So how many times are you going to allow her to rip hair, to gouge eyes, to go out and hurt people? Oh, well, you know, in the NBA, I had someone on Facebook, who I know, mind you, who I know, who I went to high school with sit there and say, oh, you're being soft. Look at how they play in the NBA in the night. You're going to compare the Lakers and the Celtics and Kurt Rambis getting clothesline in an NBA game to this? Fools. Nonsense. Absolutely nonsense. I'm not even going to enter. So now all of a sudden, we shouldn't even put the ball on the floor and try to drive to the basket. I'm telling you, you guys are going on another level today of just clown takes, some of you. Seriously. You're really going to another level on a friggin' Thursday. And I knew before I even came on, it was going to get goofy. So now let's pull it back out when we have a fast break because of fear of getting fouled. Your bias, it's starting to bleed out. It really is. It's starting to bleed out. I don't care. And then they promote. You know, Howie, I'm glad you brought this up, right? Yeah, the 26 on 20. They forced fed her the friggin' basketball. And then they turn around and tweet it out. Do you not see what this league is about right now? Do you not understand? It's so clear. And why some people are not understanding this. This league is all about throwing it right back in the fans' face. This league is about, we will run our league the effing way we want, and you can't do anything about it. Yeah, you can. Stop watching. Stop buying tickets. Stop buying, merchandise. Don't go to games. Don't go to games anymore. Stop backing this product. I hope the numbers dwindle. I hope they're sliced in half. Michael brought up a good point a while back. Once the NFL starts, the noise is going to get drowned out, and the NFL is going to squash this league. Squash this league. It's bad enough you've got an organization that plays favorites. It's bad enough you've got an owner now backing a GM who backs a head coach that is clearly incompetent and in over her head. And then the worst thing is you have a coach that is going out of her way to sabotage players. She is going out of her way to fit these players into her narrative. She is pulling the friggin' strings. She's pulling the strings. And then you got a fan base that has been ridiculed from the get-go. I'm sure, and again, I'm a fan of basketball. And I've said this multiple times. There's players in this league that I really enjoy their games. I don't live and die by these games like I would if I'm watching the Knicks or the Giants or the Yankees. I don't. I understand there are hardcore Indiana Fever fans. There's hardcore New York fans, Aces fans, Golden State. The list goes on and on. I get it. Because that's some fan base. It's the only thing maybe you have in the market at times, right? And you're supporting it and you love the product. All well and good. But after what's been going on now, and as, the months or the weeks turned into months, and now this is going on, I would say ever since Caitlin Clark came into the league, the nonsense, and they continue to drop the ball, how can you support this product? And the fans, I don't know how a majority of this Fever fan base can sit back and really say with confidence that this woman is doing a good job and she's competent and she's a good head coach and they're going to win basketball games with her. I'm not seeing it. I'm not. And I get it. You guys don't like the fact that athletes have to support the coach. I don't believe they should, but they do what's right because at the end of the day, their livelihood's at stake. You don't want to develop a rep where you're not a team player. I don't care. You can speak You can sit there and applaud a hire. You can go on X. You can go on Facebook. You can say, I love this coach. I love what she did in college as a player. And then in Vanderbilt, even though she didn't win any games in the conference, she's an analyst. She knows the game of basketball. I'm thrilled. I got news for you. Shit can change. Your opinion can change. It's always better to dance with the devil you know than the devil you don't know. So yeah, what do you want players to sit there and say, I hate to hire? She sucked in Vanderbilt. I don't care if she won in Purdue as a player. Who cares if she played in the NBA? She's a divisive figure. I need to go speak to the GM. Why did we hire this head coach? Coach speak, players speak. Come on. What are you, new to sports? She's a divisive figure. This league. I asked you guys this. I asked you this. You listen to that press conference. Does your opinion change? And honestly, I'm curious too. I'll ask it one more time. Like, who's the biggest culprit? How did we get here with this league? That you can't decide who a woman is. You can't decide who can play, who cannot play. You can't decide what a foul is. You got players gambling. You got players basically going after each other's heads. You got coaches getting suspended who shouldn't get suspended. You have players getting free passes that shouldn't get free passes. That's why, to me, you turn off this product. The sponsors are going to eventually dry out, run out. The networks want quality basketball. They want competitive basketball. And if you're still going to watch, you have every right to watch. But I would encourage you to really take a step back. Is this something you want to support? Is this something you want to support? Do you want to watch a game where players are acting like punks on the floor? The officiating is so slanted that head coaches have free reign? That a commissioner doesn't hold anyone accountable? This shit would never fly in other leagues. It wouldn't. It would not fly in other leagues. And there's no other league or no other franchise organization that would employ a head coach that backs other players harming her current players or his current players. Total strange. What's going on? If the WNBA is the problem, then why was it not like this in the 2023? We are trying to figure it out. Maybe it's the fact that you've got some really good talent, and we mentioned the Clark effect, and maybe now we're more privy to seeing the nonsense, if that makes sense. Like, we're now more focused, right, on everything. And now, because social media, now you're talking 1 to 2 years. Social media been around forever. But I think you have more supporters of Caitlin Clark than the league. And you have more prominent figures coming out and defending her, which only adds more fuel to the fire. You've got politicians, you've got Congress, you've got talking heads, you've got networks. Then conversely, you've got players that are basically doing whatever the hell they want to do on the floor and on social media, and there's zero ramifications. Then you also have players that are coming out and crying wolf, and guess what? Their complaints, their gripes are not factual. They're not backed. We investigate, we find nothing. I mean, this is what they're allowing. I don't want to get punished, so now I have to scream something. I went on the air on Monday and I said someone must have got to Carrington for not going back on social. And then as soon as I say that, people can't help themselves. People can't help themselves. Players can't help themselves. She literally then, I think after I got off the air, not even 20 minutes later, she turns around and she's got to double down on the tweet saying it wasn't about Sophie Cunningham. The hell it was. I mean, by all accounts, this kid is a smart kid, smart woman, went to a pretty damn good college, parents well educated. Isn't that privileged? So not even 20 minutes later, again, you got to rush. You got to go on social because you have to be right. And you sit there and say that your tweet wasn't about white privilege. It wasn't about the flagrant foul too on Cunningham. But it was a desire for consistency across the board. Dude, what are you talking about? The fact that you weren't suspended is privilege. You can't double down sometimes on just lack of common sense, man. Tone deaf, narrow-minded. Read the friggin' room. This girl's talking out of her, you know what? I'm sorry. You're not educated enough to speak on privilege or white privilege in that regard. She's sitting there saying, do your research. You do your research. You're contradicting yourself. You're a hypocrite. But again, the league will allow anyone to say whatever they want to say. And like I said, I stand by what I said the other day. If Sophie Cunningham tweets out black privilege, she's suspended for the rest of the season. And I'm not walking back those comments. I'm not. White could change her perception if she understood the problem. She can't anymore, Michael. Nope. She can't. She can't. I don't know who the hell is running that PR team. I know the one girl that was there at the press conference put an end to some of those goofball questions that they were going to ask, and she said it's about basketball. But again, think about this. Let me push kindness, go to hell. I never. I love. Let's love. Let's hold hands. Let's hug. Let's embrace. Let's not kiss goodbye. Let's show kindness, humility, character, sweetness, tenderness. No, get the F out of here. That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was. You didn't see the play in real time. So I'm watching her press conference when she smacks the table. Love will win. Grace will win. Humility will win. Kindness will win. Everyone else, go to hell. You know what I was thinking of? An all-time great movie. The Hurricane, with my man, Denzel. And his real name's actually pronounced Denzel. He said that before, right? Not Denzel. But anyway, hate put me in prison. Love's gonna bust me out. I mean, that's exactly what I thought. That was Reuben Hurricane Carter. Hate put me in prison. Love's gonna bust me out. I mean, banging on the table. I felt like it was Rafael Palmeiro sitting there saying, I didn't take those steroids. I've never used PEDs. Or Sammy Sosa all of a sudden, no habla friggin' inglés. Yo no sé. I mean, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. Woman needs to be fired. Woman needs to be fired. Carrington wasn't ejected last night. She had a fan ejected, committed 2 bad fouls. One should have been a Tech 1, but it wasn't. And the other also was called both scratches to the face. Thank you. Thank you. I greatly appreciate that for pointing that out. You're 100%. I was thinking the same friggin' thing. I was thinking the same exact thing. Let her get away with it. Let her get away with it. And appreciate that. I think you're a new viewer to the channel. Thank you. Let her get away with it. That doesn't happen if she's suspended. That doesn't happen if you give her the flagrant 2 after she almost beheaded Cunningham. And again, no one is talking about 823 threat. Let's just walk over that, gloss over. How about a reporter sit there and say, well, do you have any worries about your next meeting? The player tweeted out or doubled down 823. She didn't answer because no one was asked that question. Will we see when the next TV deal is negotiated? I mean, that's a major, it's like a historic deal. I mean, that's, is the league going to be around? Is the league going to be around by then? That's a historic deal. That's an 11-year deal. It's going all the way to 2036. You think Disney, ABC is happy with this? Amazon Prime is happy with this? Ion, Paramount? No, not at all. And remember what's going on with Paramount and CBS being sold. NFL season for some of these networks can't come fast enough. But then again, some of these other networks like the Rat Ship, they love it because every single solitary night, it gives them what? It gives them content. It allows these talking heads to keep spewing their hate. If Clark knew her power, she could be like LeBron and get the head coach fired if she would use any untapped potential energy. I said it months ago. Her time, David, to speak up has passed. They're in the midst of a playoff push. They're playing much better basketball. I still don't like the perimeter defense, but they're playing much better basketball. Her time to, as you alluded to, weigh the magic wand of power will be in the offseason. And if you are truly a legit Indiana Fever fan, I got news for you. You want this team to get bounced early. You want another incident to happen. You want this coach to be put on the spotlight, because then if you keep pushing, and you get that fan backlash, the problem is the fans shouldn't have to suffer because of the coach's incompetence. Young girls, young kids want to go watch Caitlin Clark play. They want to watch Mitchell play. They want to see Cunningham. They want to see Boston. They want to enjoy the game. Don't punish them, even though it sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, because you still want them to go to the games. But the reality is, as a whole, this league, I would really start cutting back on the eyeballs, the product as a whole. So to your point, Caitlin Clark, again, if she wields that power through her agent, it would be a much different conversation if we fast forward. If this was 2027, then the narrative changes. The narrative changes. Because remember, Caitlin Clark signed a 4-year rookie contract. And because of the new CBA, her salary jumped exponentially. But if this is 2027 and fast forward, same situation, same nonsense is going on by that time. I mean, we all might as well just, call it a day, move on to a beach somewhere and enjoy the sun and the surf. But if this is 2027 and the season's winding down, or they get bounced in the playoffs, then you can have that conversation. Because to me, if this ownership group and this GM, if they don't make a decision in the offseason and they run it back once more and they maneuver the cap, they re-sign some players, they bring in some players, then we roll into 2027 and the same crap. This is a 22, 23, 24 win team. They get bounced. Then it's a different conversation. It's a different dialogue we're having, because now she can walk. She'll be in line for Epic, but she can walk. Now, if you're Amber Cox and Caitlin Clark has a rare press conference at the end of the season and says, well, first time in my career, obviously, I'm going to weigh my options and I really have to do what's best for me and I want to be somewhere where I'm wanted. That is basically the arrow right in Steffi Hart's chest. I mean, that should be it. Because if you're Amber Cox, if you're the GM, would you rather run it back for the next 10 years with Caitlin Clark, or run it back the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years with Steffi White and not Caitlin Clark? Like, it goes back to what I've been saying even the last year. It's not a fit. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. And I don't know, you don't need to be a basketball savant to realize that. You just don't. So much more talent in this league than ever before, yet here we are talking about. Well, I'm going to tell you what else is the problem. Here's the other problem. you have to get rid of some of these veteran players. They are also an issue. These former veteran players, these former players that didn't have nearly as much success as some of these players have, they're so vindictive. They're so petty. They're so jealous. The NFL is truly a brotherhood. Really. The NFL is truly a brotherhood, man. You can play for a team. You know, remember back in the day in the NFL, life expectancy of a running back 2 to 3 years, playing in the NFL 5 to 6 years. You play for a team, and I got news for you. The organizations that do it the right way, they always take care of players. But that brotherhood, when you go to another player, and yeah, man, I played from 96 to 97, or oh, I played 98 to 2003. Man, it's a brotherhood. You played in the NFL. They're always going to have your back. Now, do they need to take care of the older players, the gridiron greats more? Yeah, of course. That's something I've talked about for years. But this league, there's no sisterhood. It's not. It's the velvet rope. I keep saying it. It's the velvet rope. We choose to let in to our little club who we choose to let in. If all the new fans boycott, it'll be better for us old fans because the drama will leave with you guys. Some of the fans are bad, and social media doesn't help. Tina, appreciate that. There you go, Tina. All right, Tina. Eyes on the road. Eyes on the road. Please, eyes on the road. I don't know, Tina may be going to the beach today. It's gorgeous today, by the way. The league is going to fail. We are watching the house burn down as we speak. Investors pull out. Stumpy, appreciate you, brother. Or I appreciate you, miss. Thank you. I agree. I absolutely agree. They are burning down the house as we speak. They are. If they continue down this path, if they continue to go this route, I believe this league folds within 3 to 5 years. I do. I honestly believe this league will fold because when investors start cutting checks, that's one thing. When they stop cutting checks, when advertisers stop cutting checks, that's a problem. I believe she was, yeah, you can play the same way, total strange, but guess what? She was targeting Cunningham, and I stand by that. Oh, her track record is she's dirty, but I think there was a little more oomph knowing that it was a fast break opportunity. Yeah, and I used the word target. Yeah, that's the word I stay with, and I'm standing on that. She should have been ejected, and she should have been ejected last night. But if she's ejected 2 games ago, she's not playing last night to try to harm another player. But that's coaching too. You allow your players to do that. You allow your players to get away with that nonsense? These hard fouls? Absolutely not. Heather, what's going on? That speech was cringe-worthy. It was much more about the league and agenda than her team. Yes, it was. Absolutely. It was all about her pushing the league, and she's saving her ass. Anyone who has any ounce of common sense, any ounce who has common sense realizes that was a coach that understands she's on the hot seat. Women's professional basketball league can't even define what a woman is. Never in my life. It makes no sense. It makes... You think the cancer stuff is going to go away? Right? It's not. Pete, I got news for you, brother. That line, I told you guys this the other day, wraps around the block. Wraps around the block. You guys want to paint this picture that Caitlin Clark is not a team player, or you want to paint this picture. See, here's, I'm now going to drop some knowledge on you guys. You want Caitlin Clark to be this superhuman because she was dubbed the face of the league, the Caitlin Clark effect. They didn't prepare for her from a marketing and branding standpoint. Everything she's done on the floor has been exceptional. Everything she's brought to the table outside of her talent is on another level. Let's just put it to rest, put it to bed. That dog's not going to hunt. You can't dispute it. It's all factual. The eyeballs, the revenue, the merchandise, all that stuff. So because of that, you believe somewhere it was written in the bylaws that now she needs to speak up on every single thing. Everything. Caitlin Clark is such a polarizing figure, not because she wants to be, because you guys have made her that, because the media has made her that, the fans have made her that, social media has made her that, the league has made her that. All this kid wants to do is play basketball. But because she doesn't, quote, maybe get up right away and defend a teammate, she's a lousy teammate. Because she sulks and doesn't get a call, she's entitled. Because she doesn't support a head coach who's under fire, she's selfish and not a leader. Because she doesn't speak out on social injustice, she's part of the problem. I've accepted this. There are players that are generational talents that we get to enjoy a couple times in our lifetime, and no matter what they do, they will never win over certain fans. So I will allow you guys to keep spewing your goofiness towards her, because at this point, I already know what this kid is bringing to the table. I already know the value, and I already know she's a generational talent. And she can go out and have 3 or 4 straight bad games, and I'll be critical, and she'll bounce back and drop a triple-double, because that's who she is. You guys want you want a player to act a certain way. There's a difference between wanting a player to act a certain way and playing the game the right way. Don't get it twisted. I told you, yes, I'm for having an opinion, but I think there's a time and place. I'm all for playing hard basketball, but not cheap shot, not dirty basketball. That's not a good brand of basketball. What I see from some of these players, what I saw from Thomas, what I saw from Carrington, that's not basketball, man. It's not. And the league allows it. The league allows it. So now you've got players that just want to play the game and be left alone, but we're not satisfied with that. We want blood. We want them to, walk a certain way, talk a certain way, act a certain way. Again, don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I can't condone a player going on social and tweeting what she tweeted. I can't condone a player throat punching a player. I can't condone a player raking a player's eyes or pulling her hair or almost clotheslining a player and hurting her. I can't back a coach who backs that. I can't protect or back or condone a league that does that. I can't. I can like the players. I can like some of the products sometimes, but I don't have to like the league. I can love the sport of basketball. It doesn't mean I like this league. I can't stand this league. I can't, because of what the league stands for. I watch these players. There's talent in this league. Like DB said, don't get me wrong. There's some good talent in this league. These players that want to play the game of basketball the right way, they deserve better. They deserve a league that's going to have a competent commissioner. That's all about the branding and protecting the players and the player safety. They deserve better. They need referees that know how to friggin' call a game objectively. They deserve better. But I also think some players are just naturally angry. They have hate. They're jealous. They're pissed off. And now they decide to take it out on certain players when they play. And I can't condone that. I can't. You guys are waiting. You guys are waiting for a player to get knocked on her ass so bad that there's a benches clearing brawl. So we've got something to talk about for a week. I love the game of basketball. I do. I can't stand this friggin' league. I can't. I can't. I love these games that I call. I love these games that I call stateside. I love 9450 is it's going to be the next G League, I'm telling you. Unbelievable time yesterday, shooting a doc, shooting some film for it. A ton of talent, man. Guys played in the NBA, cup of coffee, played overseas. Good basketball. I love these overseas leagues. I love women's leagues. I do. Whether it's WABA, whether some of these leagues in Malta, some of these leagues in Asia, some of these leagues in China, some of these leagues in Portugal, the DR. I love these smaller tier leagues. I like the way they play the game of basketball. But this league, this WNBA that doesn't even know what the hell the W stands for, it's not a league. It's just players out there playing basketball, and then all of a sudden it's the Wild Wild West. It really is. It's like one of those non-sanctioned sports. It's a free-for-all. It's like back in the day, man. You get the underground fighting, the street fighting, right? The Fight Club. There's nothing appealing about this. And the fact that this league want you to think a certain way, or they have basically brainwashed certain members of the media to just constantly dog certain players is disgusting. It's a disgrace. I can tell you right now, if they fired all these clowns on Talking Heads and on ESPN and actually brought in genuine, credible basketball people, I bet you half the crap would change the way we view this league. Because you would not, what did one of the announcers the other day say? Oh yeah, man, you know what? They're a team of what? You know what? Team of the H word. I'm not going to say it on the air. And I was like, did she just say that? You sit there and you use the term sisterhood. That's supposed to be what? Camaraderie? Everyone together? Working together for the same goal, like the brotherhood? It's not. It's the antithesis. It's a free-for-all. It's every girl for herself. I got to get mine. I'm going to say whatever the hell I want to say. There's going to be no ramifications, none. I'm all for being vocal, but I don't know what you want a Caitlin Clark to do. I don't know what you want her to say. Like in your world, some of you guys, what is the right thing to do? What is the right thing to say? She came out, she spoke about the physicality, she condemned the hate, she condemned the racism on social media, she called out the officiating, she backed her coach. What do you want her to do? Talk about what? What's going on in the Middle East and Iran? Oil prices? The current state of affairs? What do you want her to do? But again, no one is satisfied. Oh, the game's been televised for years. Games have been televised for years, but now they have 4 or 5 networks. And again, there's talk. They might be doing some stuff now with Netflix down the road, maybe on YouTube. So I honestly, guys, I'm trying to really understand what is it that you can't stand when it comes to a certain player. Because with all due respect, your line of thinking is also what's wrong. Like, that's also part of the problem. It's like you got the student, they go to class, they show up on time, they study, they tutor, they're a leader, they raise their hand, they answer the questions, they do their homework, they pass all their tests, they pass their quizzes, they graduate with honors, but yet you're still not satisfied. You're still not, you want more. Do you not get it? You're not going to get any more. And then once she leaves the league, you guys won't have anything to bitch, whine, and moan about. You won't. Or you'll spin it to, she couldn't take it. It is just clear. It is just clear how some of you guys think. It's clear how some of you think when it comes to certain players. And it's just like, wow. We are passionate about sports as fans, right? And we follow certain teams and certain fans. And, Charles Barkley, did he not say it many years ago? I'm not a role model, right? I mean, to some extent, you are. But what he was basically saying is, man, I'm an athlete. Like, I don't need to speak on certain things. Now, post-career, it's a different animal with Chuck. It really is. But there is a fan base out there that is waiting for certain players to leave this league because then they will have nothing more to complain about or bitch whining. It's just goofy talk sometimes. I mean, this kid can go out and have a triple-double the next time they play, and someone's going to chime in and chat, she had 6 turnovers. You guys are very hard to please. And I got news for you. I'm breaking news. These players don't care what we think. They don't. They don't care what we think. They really don't. Heartburn chimes in. I don't care what CC or the players say. She's going to go, and the fans and the podcast just going to have to keep turning the heat up cause. I think she can't take it. She's already cracked. I'm not following that one. I don't know if you're talking about the coach. I watched that press conference. I don't know how in the world you defend it. And I don't think this player or these players feel any type of connection with the coach. I don't. I just think they also understand that let's how about we play this game for a second? Is it possible that a player like Cunningham and Clark, because it seems to be those are two in the spotlight, is it just possible that they're a lot tougher than we give them credit for? They have a lot more thicker skin than we give them credit for. They were raised to be tougher and not play the victim. Is that a possibility? Because Cunningham, to me, does not take shit from anyone. She just doesn't. She doesn't. You want to talk about her play on the floor? Well, she was, 4 or 5 the other day? She's been around the block. She's 29, 30. We talked about it. She's got, the Project B. She can do podcasts. She's got the book. She can model. She can be in movies. She'll be fine. Caitlin Clark, shoe deal coming out. Got her millions. Got the name, the imaging, the likeness, the branding, the markability. She'll be fine. Is it just also possible that these women are very thick-skinned and they're very strong and they're like, yeah, my coach is a jerk. I'll deal with it the way I want to deal with it. That's a possibility. It is. That is a possibility. But, you guys want, you want blood. That's what you want. Mark, there's already a quarterback controversy, which I'm talking about tomorrow on the show when we do football. There's already going to be a quarterback controversy with the Browns. That's funny. That's a cute ticker. Yeah. Watson's going to get some of those snaps. How about Jaden Daniels getting pissed off that, they're not giving him love with the jersey? Total strange. Here's a take. All right. A woman is anyone that presents as an adult female. It's merely a social construct. They should change it to the National Female Basketball Association and the problems go away, problem solved. No, it doesn't. Because, again, if you identify as a female, what happens then? What happens then? You think Enes Kanter is going to go away quietly? He's not. Did you see exactly what's going on with some of these politicians? Right? And look, the players, you get a microphone in a place. What do you want Boston to sit there and say? Yeah, the fans booed her. The fans let her know they don't condone her actions. The player's not going to sit there and say, I'm for the fans. My coach needs to defend us. No. They're going to sit there and say what? Disrespectful, hurtful, broke my heart. Then they might walk away and kind of snicker. I don't know. I don't know what kind of relationship she has or doesn't have with these players, but I don't believe she has the players' best interests at heart. I think we can all agree. She doesn't. And if she does, she goes about it a goofy way. G turns in Q. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned that Carrington had a fan kicked out of the game last night. I don't even want to get into it anymore, G. Because you know what? And I appreciate you, my friend. That fan was allowed back in. You know why? Because there was friggin' zero evidence to support the complaint. And oh, by the way, from what I gather, the fan was a white male. So again, the WNBA, this friggin' circus of a league, is allowing players to kick out whoever the hell they want to do. You got a friggin', you got a family of 4 sitting there having a nice little Diet Coke and a couple soft pretzels, and the girl smiles the wrong way. Kick her out. It's utterly ridiculous. That's the problem. That's why she needs to be suspended. Do you not understand? She's toxic. She's divisive. She's got vengeance. She's got hate in her heart. And you want to sit there and not talk about 823? And this league is basically just pushing it to the side. And good for the fans to boo the friggin' coach, because you know what? If there's a fan base in this world, Indiana friggin' fans know the game of friggin' basketball. And I got news for you. That crap doesn't fly with a smart fan base. That wouldn't fly in Philly, New York, in D.C., in Chicago, in Boston. They know. They're smart. When the coach is stinking up the joint, they're going to let you know, deal with it. You can sit there and you can admonish it. You can protect the coach, But you know it comes with the territory. Why? Because if you're playing poorly, the fans are going to get on you first. This league is just, it's just a shit show from top to bottom. Absolutely top to bottom. You can't trust a league. And the other thing is this. You got to worry about the media pushing their own agenda. That's the other problem. I'm going to address this right now. When White goes deep into playoffs, then gets extended, I don't want to hear shit about how Cece is stuck with her. But you can't say that. Because, again, the GM extends her. That's not Caitlin Clark's fault. And remember, if she's extended, Caitlin Clark's contract, her rookie contract, ends next season. So what happens when Clark decides to take her talent somewhere else? You know why she's going to do that, Pete? Because she can't stand this friggin' coach. Epic or no epic. But, again, that is a conversation that is a year from now. If they make a run, they make a run. That's great. The question remains the same. Why did Steffi White feel the need to defend Carrington out of nowhere? She wasn't even asked about her opinion if she thought it was intentional or not. Well, that's a great question. I would try to pronounce your handle, but I just can't because I can't read gibberish. That is a great question, and I appreciate it because she wants to placate to the masses. She's trying to serve two masters, and in this case, she is more inclined to protect former players who, oh, by the way, she coached them that style of basketball. That's number one. The second thing is the media, the pacifist, activist, W media, they're not media. They're not journalists. They're not going to press her because they are fearful of what? Getting their media credential pulled, which means they have nothing to write about, talk about, and they have zero content. So in that regard, she, the coach, is holding all the cards. If there was a tough ass reporter out there, you know, these big time names, if they're there, they don't care if they can't cover another game because they have a platform with hundreds of millions of people that are going to watch them. So they're going to carry that clout. These other fresh, you know, green face out of college, you know, going to a different market, trying to get their feet wet, they do not want to get their media rescinded. They do not want to lose their credential. Then I got news for you. Get out of the line of work. Get out of the line of work. Ask the tough questions, because if you ask the tough questions and you do lose that media credential or that little smaller publication lets you go, I got news for you. Another one's going to pick you up because they want people that ask legit questions. Reporters' job is to what? Investigate, ask hard questions, seek out the truth. Ask the questions because the answers are what we, or you guys, the fans, want to know. The information. Don't ask lollipop crap. It's the worst thing in the world, especially with these sideline crap or the post game. You just won the friggin' championship. How do you feel? How the F do you think I friggin' feel? I feel shitty. I feel lousy. I wish we didn't win. They're so green. All they're looking to do is just create content and get the clicks. That's it. And get the I gotcha moment. They're not pure journalists to your question. It should have been asked. It should have been fired off. Now, the reason she got pressure, Steffi White got enough pressure where people got in her ear and said, you've got to make a statement. Now, it was late. It really was. She dropped the ball. She knew it after, the way she handled it. And I guarantee you, it could have been Amanda Cox. It could have been the commissioner. It could have been her goofy PR team. You got to get out in front of this eventually. Let it fester for a day or two. Get out in front of it. That's why you rarely see, ever, coaches have a pregame presser. You just don't. She knew. I'm telling you exactly why she... This shows the lunacy, the mental, the craziness, the manipulative, the controlling aspect of Steffi White. If that game is on the road, she's not having that press conference. They did it because they wanted to circulate it so fast where maybe there wasn't going to be a course of booze. Booze were going to come anyway. That game was a home game. So let's get out in front of it. And oh, by the way, they just happened to win by 14 and they played a good game. And the fans were happy. Kumbaya, here you go. Next up, Dallas at home tomorrow. It was all scripted. It was all premeditated. And it was all because pressure from above that she has to answer to this, because everyone who has a ounce of common sense was killing her. Absolutely killing her. It appears it is. It appears it is. Cece had a real reaction when she put her head in. Yeah, I said it the other day. It reminded me of when you bring your girlfriend over for the first time at the holidays, and maybe the old man has a couple too many pops. You know, the crazy uncle in the corner, you know, grandpa sitting there and, you know, keeps smiling at her in a goofy kind of way, right? We've all been there, and you're sitting there, oh my God, what the hell are you doing? Yeah, you're 100% correct. If you ever have a call in, I would love to chat it up. Greetings from Destin. We're working on that. I'm waiting to hear back, Tina. I appreciate you. Enjoy AJ's Crab Island. Be safe. Get a little sun. We are working on taking calls, maybe for the fall, because we have a couple other outlets that are interested in the show. And I don't know if that's good or bad if we start to go to phone calls. It could get ugly. It could. The league is going to change or collapse. Big money wins. I think it's going to collapse. I think it's absolutely going to collapse. I hope nobody gets hurt on the next Fever and Sky game. I don't think it's happening. I don't. I think they're going to referee that game. I guarantee you a memo was sent out to the officiating crew. I guarantee you they're probably on a conference call within the next 2 days. I mean, they're never going to figure out what the W stands for, but they're probably going to be on a conference call talking about how they want that game to be officiated. Ashley, what's going on? They wouldn't care. The WNBA will still pay them, and most of the teams are owned by WNBA owners. I don't believe that's the case. 42% equity share. I don't think the NBA wants to do the heavy lifting like you think they do. I don't. I think Adam Silver is pissed. I think Adam Silver is absolutely aggravated. Now, if you go back and you put in, if you are saying, you know, how many owners from the NBA own WNBA teams, there are a few. There are a few. I believe there's 6 or there's 7. Remember, the NBA collectively holds 42% equity stake. If it was 43, this commissioner would have been gone. Phoenix, New York, Golden State, okay? And then you've got the group ties, right? So Phoenix, obviously, he owns the Suns. New York, Joe T owns the Liberty, the Brooklyn Nets. Golden State, Joe Lacob, right? So he owns, obviously, the Valkyries and the Warriors. And then there's the group ties. Other expansions that kind of bled in. Same partnership, to your point. So 7. And yet, I know kind of where you're thinking, right? The bottom line, the P&L, the return on the investment. I get it. But if you also realize, too, Engelbert Humperdinck, her contract runs out after the season. I don't think she's going to resign. I don't think they're going to re-up her. I think they're going to... There's been too many misfires, and too many controversies under this regime. And I think, again, they have to change. War Dog chimes in for the first, I believe. Appreciate that. WNBA is changing. That's why the old guard is having a meltdown. Man, nailed it. CC is playing her cards right. Pete would lead off, or Cliff with his advice. He's just not bright enough to realize it. First sentence or two. It's a great point, man. Appreciate you chiming in. That's a great point. It's the changing of the guard. And oh, by the way, you've got other players that are going to be coming out very soon, like my girl Juju. So you're going to get some star power. Now, is that enough to sustain this league going forward? Because if the old guards just keep hanging around, I believe the older players, the vets, are the ones that are most to blame. I do. I really do. No one is saying Dijon is not a dirty player. What she tweeted shows her motives on why people talk. Yep. And that's why, Michael, and I know you brought this up a couple times on my other videos, and your points are very astute, this is why the league had to suspend her. That's a veiled threat. She is basically saying, A23, I'm targeting. That's it. If she gets a clean shot at Cunningham, game on. Game on. And then what's the conversation going to be? Seriously. What's the conversation going to be? You think Cunningham is going to back down? She's going to get right back in her face. And the other thing is this. If Cunningham thinks she gets hacked a hard way by DJ, she's going to turn around. She might crack her. Then what do we do? We can't celebrate it. You can't. That's not the way you play the game of basketball. Do you not understand? They are setting themselves up for nonsense. And then because this kid has 20 or 23 the other night, they want to push it on social. It makes, I'm telling you, I don't know who handles their PR team. I don't know if they're interns. I don't even know if they get paid. They are absolutely tone deaf. They're clueless. They have no common sense. None. No common sense whatsoever. Because you know there's moderators, there's protocol. You know you just can't post that. You have someone that signs off on it. Now, if the commissioner or the head of social media for the league is signing off on that, they need to be out of a job too. They will look into these contracts. They will look into these player contracts, and they will, 300 pages, whatever the hell it is from the CBA, there will be clauses in contracts about what you can tweet and post. And if you don't abide by those rules, forget about suspension. We have a gripe to void out your contract. Why? Because it's part of the morality clause. CBS is playing this so smart with Tony Romo. They're looking around, they're talking to lawyers, and they're saying, well, we understand, didn't take the breathalyzer, but what if, can we get out of this contract because we don't have to pay him 70-something $1 million? That's why you hire high-priced attorneys. But if you think for 1 minute when these two teams play, it's not going to get chippy, you think Cunningham's going to back down? I got news for you. She's not. So what happens if she has a hard foul and bench is clear or fans come on the floor and storm the floor? Get ready for this game to be so tightly officiated, and they're going to probably blow a lot of whistles. It probably might not be aesthetically pleasing to watch. But it's a veiled threat when you say A23, when everyone who covers the team or knows the league or is a fan of the league knows that's when these two teams meet again. She's going to walk back that tweet? I don't think it's about sticking up, man. I think there are some people that are pacifists. There are some people that are submissive. There are some people, David, in my experience, that just, they don't have time for the BS. So they don't need to always open up. I said this months ago. I was pissed about the minutes restriction. And the way Caitlin Clark spoke out was by saying she's healthy. She would love to be on the floor more. And we already talked about it. When she's playing over 29 minutes, her averages goes to about 24, 25. And she was raised the right way. She was raised the right way. She just goes about her business. She's blue collar, clock in, clock out. I actually think it speaks more to how she was raised at. She's always turning the other cheek. And sometimes that's hard to do. It really is hard to do. Sometimes if you are raised in a certain environment or you had a tough upbringing, you're fighting, you're scratching, you're clawing. Doesn't mean she's soft, and it doesn't mean she's entitled. She's a tough kid. She's earned the right to play in this league. She's earned the right to make this money. She's earned the right to get the notoriety. She's worked for that. No one's saying these players don't bust their ass. You have to have some talent to play in these leagues. You just have to. You play in college at a high level, you get drafted, and you're successful. There's a reason that you're still playing in this league. Now, debating the right way, the wrong way to play the game is different. But I kind of harken back to what Ashley said. Watch what happens in this game. Watch. You can't allow a player to put a target on another player's back. Haven't changed my mind. Been wanting her fired a year ago. The blame falls on the front office and the owner for putting up with this. Yeah. I mean, that's on ownership. That gave her what? A free pass, vote of confidence, and then the GM. Tell you one thing, when Sophie and DJ meet again, don't be surprised if Sophie gets ejected. Wink, wink. Yes. Yep. Oh, it's coming. It's absolutely coming. Michael. Where you at, Michael? Where you at, Michael? Where you at, Michael? $50 floor seats. Yep. How come I don't see Pete's post anymore? It's a mystery. Well, maybe he went to lunch. Probably took a break. You and I both know. Oh, you guys blocked him? Uh-oh. Did you guys enforce rules? This is what some people don't understand. When you have a multi-million-dollar brand, you have to protect it. Instead, they do the complete opposite. It shows you they're not business savvy. They're not. They're not business savvy. They don't care. Pretty much done with the WNBA. Whenever Steffi White takes out CC out of the game, you pretty much tune it out. Yeah, switch the channel. Some people do. Some people turn around and they're like, enough is enough already. Oh, you got... Really? Oh, I didn't... Oh, you guys okay? You guys okay in the chat? I gotta check, right? I gotta check. What do we got here? What is this? Hold on. I gotta pull this up here. This is funny. Hold on. Bear with me. I'm trying to find this comment that I would like to address. I thought it'd be like stressful for Rich if he does stop watching. It could be. I enjoy watching it, but I hate the product, if that makes sense. I'm so over this white privilege BS. Makes me wonder if the PR team ever knew this was coming. Yep. Where's that comment? I'm sure someone's going to find it for me. I got to pull this comment up because I do want to address it. And it's hard with like 1,000 friggin' comments in there. Let me see if I can find it here. Dirty player, Cunningham Carrington. Nope, that's not it. I know. I got to keep going back and forth. Sorry, guys. SW has broken under pressure, hence her anger. I think she's already been a volatile type of player. Put a clock on it, Rich. What's your deadline for the WNBA to change all that you hate? I'm betting it won't change, but let's make a friendly wager. I don't really think there's no timeline. There's really nothing to wager. I'm just giving you my opinion. That's all. I'm just giving you my opinion. My opinion is that this league is run poorly. It's very divisive. It's all about black and white. It's all about gay and straight. It's not the collective sisterhood. It's the velvet rope. I don't need a player to sit there and talk about white privilege. I'm sorry, after she just got ejected and hammered a player. I don't. White, black, yellow, green, I don't care. You don't tweet that out. That's divisive. Yeah. So I made a comment about it the other day. And guess what? I got news for you. I'm not walking it back. I'm not walking it back. If that happens again to Clark, or if that happens to Cunningham and they tweet out the complete opposite, you guys are going nuts. The league would step in and suspend them, ban them, period. They would ban them. So I'm not going to give her a free pass. And then she doubled back on it. We know exactly what you friggin' meant. You basically were saying it. Let's call it for what it is. You knocked the white girl on her ass. And you looked at the league and said, go ahead. I dare you to suspend me. They didn't. They won't. Move on, people. You're not going to play the I gotcha crap with me. You're not. And oh, by the way, there's a couple comments in here. It shows you never, ever, ever listen into this show. Because I make a point to sit there and say, I don't give a shit what color the player is, man. If you act a fool and you're dirty, you're going to get called out. If you play good basketball the right way, I'm going to give you friggin' props. So take that crap somewhere else, man. I'm not even going to give you an ounce of energy with that because you don't listen to the channel. You've never listened to me over the years. You have no idea about my background, my resume, or my track record. You're just a friggin' little rat troll trying to race bait. That's all you're trying to do. Just like they do with ESPN. But nobody ever wants to call out ESPN because I told you, ESPN will never call out Stephanie White because she's in a relationship with Lisa Salters. And Stephanie White worked at ESPN. So you're not going to have the rat ship on rat ship crime. You're not. You're not. By comments that I see, by the engagement that I get, you're going to tell me this league is not divisive? This league is not about black and white? People have a problem with Caitlin Clark because she is great, she is white, and she is straight, and she can friggin' ball. There, I said it. Deal with it. What are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do with it? I said it months ago. I said it last year on the radio. You want me to get in check for it? You want me to hold myself accountable? I'll say it again for those that are tone deaf. They have a problem with her because she's straight, she's white, and she's a straight, white, great basketball player. So the league that's already divisive wants to piss on her. Why? Because they can. Because of how she acts, how she dresses, how she walks, how she talks. But yet, they need to respect her friggin' game. Deal with it. Deal with it. And if you're sensitive and you got a problem with it, then like I said, with all due respect, the show's not for you. My style's not for you. The channel's not for you. My radio shows aren't for you. But that's the fact. And people don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear the fact. If this is any other player, you guys can sit there objectively and talk about her. But for some reason, you won't objectively talk about this player. Why not? Because of the jealous bitterness, the envy. It doesn't help that her coach sabotages her. It doesn't help the commissioner doesn't protect her. It doesn't help they officiate the game fairly. It doesn't. You guys, man, you need to wake up. Like, stop living in a friggin' bubble, man. Thank God she was, Michael. Thank God she was. I'm glad maybe she had an off night. Who knows? Maybe she wanted to found Jesus. Who knows? I don't know. Cunningham and Clark can protect themselves, man. But the coach still got to back them. They still got to back them. This league is it's just a circus. It's spiraled out of control. It really has. And as much as we don't want to make it a black or white issue, like if someone, I glanced over to chat insinuating that I rip on the black players. Have you effing listened to this show? I sit there and I talk about how great of a player Mitchell is. I got hammered for actually saying I thought Reese was a good rebounder, even though I don't think she's very skilled. I love Miles. I'm not allowed to be critical of Boston of not pulling the trigger. I turned around and I ripped Caitlin Clark because of her antics a couple weeks ago and said she's combustible. She needs to mature on the floor. I ripped her for having 7 turnovers. I don't look at black, white, yellow, green. You guys do. Sorry to break it to you. Exposed. Move along. Nothing to friggin' see her on a Thursday. And I can tell it's the same repeat offenders because when we go on demand or I post the shorts, it's the same friggin' comments. But like I said, the difference with me and what I do, I'll check you. I'll check you. I'll call out your crap. I'll call out your bullshit. I'll call out your nonsense. I'll check you. I'll comment back. I don't care. I work for myself. I'm fine. I got plenty of time. I'll check you right back. And then what happens? You go in friggin' hiding because you got called out because few on here will actually engage and allow comments and comment back and forth. It's a rarity. We do it because it's fun and we debate and you guys are very passionate. And the majority are you guys are very knowledgeable and educated. But if you start to bring certain crap into the chat, you're going to get checked. You're going to get checked. You're going to get exposed. And the chat, 650-something odd new % of the listening audience that I've gotten, you guys know and you appreciate what we're doing and what I'm trying to do. And that's why you guys check people in the chat. I let you do it for me. Guys got to wake up. Stop living under a friggin' rock. You want to feed the masses. You want to feed the beast. You are just as guilty as some of the media is and how this league is run. Everybody wants to play the victim. Everybody wants to be the friggin' martyr. Everyone. But when it's time to be held accountable, when it's time to get checked, the weak ones, the narrow-minded ones, turn around and they go on social where they can hide. Or they sit there and they play the victim. They play the martyr. All Steffi White did was play the victim. She played the martyr. She knew her ass was in the sling. She knew the fans were pissed. She knew she was losing the locker room. So what did she do? She pre-scribed an interview. She basically knew going in what she was going to say, wrote it down, scripted it out, got the approval, and then turns around after she talks about conformity, unity, love, kindness, character, all that stuff's going to prevail. She says, go to hell. In what world should this woman have a job? In what world should a Caitlin Clark have to answer to that? Or a Cunningham, or a Mitchell, or a Boston? I'm telling you, man, the level of goofiness today, it's off the charts. It's absolutely off the charts. That's it. It's off the charts. And you guys want to sit there and try to tell me something different. What am I missing? What am I missing? There's absolutely no way you sit here and tell me you would want that woman coaching your kid at high school, in college. None. She is a divisive, toxic lunatic. She's a cuckoo. She's got nothing up there, man. It's all hate. It's look at her body language, the way she speaks. Smacking the table like a lunatic, like a madman. What do you think? You're smacking the table? You're going to get my friggin' attention? Like a 5-year-old having a temper tantrum. I just took your friggin' whoopee away. Or your PlayStation away. And then the owner turns around and backs her. And the GM backs the head coach because the GM's also understanding she didn't pull her weight in the offseason. Any other league, any other team, any other franchise, any other market, she's fired. It's not even up for debate. But you want to spin it and blame the player. Goofy. Knuckleheads. Knuckleheads. Narcissist. That's exactly what it is. And those are the scary ones where they actually believe what they say. Think about that for a minute. Where they actually believe what they say. Tina, that's now I can smile. That's what we want. Chair down, toes in the sand. Excellent job by you. Excellent job by you. There you go. There you go. And maybe a beverage of your choice. They got rid of Jen Carter. They can get rid of that. They can do whatever they want. They choose not to. They choose not to. They choose not to. You can suspend whoever you want to suspend if it's justified. Go back. Thomas hits Clark. Silver has to step in. 2 players are gambling. Buckets doesn't shoot the ball late. Everyone's got their conspiracy theory. Carrington clothesline Cunningham. She tweets out white privilege. No one does anything. She tweets out 823, doubling down the threat. No one does anything. She plays last night and she pulls hair, rakes eyes. No one does anything. Anyone see a problem with that? Oh, and by the way, you have a head coach who condoned that and then was forced to come out and what? Not really apologize. Like, to sit there and say you didn't see the play is laughable. It's laughable. Dirty player. That's all it is. Dirty players. And the league has a bunch of them. And you don't need that. You don't need that. And then all of a sudden, you get a player ejected and the player comes back. Like, this is now becoming the boy that cried wolf. And what happened to that kid? Aesop Fable, man, the boy who cried wolf. What happened to that kid? No one came running to help him. Nobody. He was by himself. And that was all she wrote. The players make it very hard to believe. They're dicking around with serious stuff. That I have a problem with. Because now the next player that's going to cry racism, the next player that's going to sit there and say that she was threatened on social. Oh, but I deleted it by accident. Oh, you know what? It was a request and I shouldn't have opened it. I'm not going to believe you. I am not going to believe you. I'm going to call you out. And the networks won't. That's the other thing. Do you imagine if you opened up Cunningham's or Clark's DMs and the hate that they get, especially Cunningham after her comments? Has she once said anything about that? Nope. Nope. None. She doubled down. She said, I said what I said. Deal with it. And they still tried to poke her. You clean up this league or it's going down the tubes within 3 to 5 years. The broadcast, the networks, you can tell. It's getting uncomfortable listening to somebody's commentary. It is getting very uncomfortable listening to somebody's analysis. And now all of a sudden, if you start to remove some talking heads, that's because they're getting pressure from who? The advertisers. This is not what we signed up for. You all of a sudden, you start to lose your advertisers, then eyeballs will follow. You start to lose eyeballs, then ratings drop. Ratings equal advertising. Advertising equals revenue. That's how it works in this media landscape. I've been doing it a long time. Give me the numbers. Give me the ears. Get me the revenue. Because you got the ratings. They keep going down this path. There's a reason certain teams are prime time spots. There's a reason Indiana is the most talked about team in the league. Because they've got polarizing figures. They've got 2 right now in the league. One who's very outspoken and made very, to some, controversial remarks, doubled down, didn't back down. And then another who's a transcendent generational player that for some reason can average 25, 10, and 6 and still not part of the sisterhood. Not a good player. Turns it over. Doesn't get back on defense. Cries too much. That's why they're always in the spotlight. It's must see. They're almost, I think someone said this weeks ago, they're like this new version of the Cowboys, the Yankees, what the Lakers were. Some people are not even fans and they just want to see the train wreck. They want to see what all the fuss is about. And that's the league as its entirety. As its entirety. Look, that's up to her. That's up to her. I don't know if that's in her best interest. If she demands an epic and they balk, she walks. Look, Mitchell is a great player, but again, you got to be fair. They're both feeding off of each other. They're a product of each other. So when Mitchell goes off, Clark's the facilitator. No player in the league, facts, is defended like Caitlin Clark. Triple, double, quadruple team. So other players benefit and their numbers go up exponentially. Mitchell is a brilliant player, man. I love that kid's game. Love that kid's game. She's benefiting from Clark, and Clark is also benefiting from her. It's a 50-50, but Clark is going to be in line for that because you also have to start to think about if you took Mitchell off the Fever, are they going to draw the same amount of fans? If you took Clark off the Fever, are they going to draw the same amount of fans? And for the sensitive ones out there, that's the reality. You have to think past the game. You have to think, right, Ash, you got to think past the X's and O's and the numbers. If you're the Fever and you understand merchandise is selling because of one player or two players, and they're the two selling jerseys in the league, and you take Clark off that team, that jersey ain't selling in Indiana. Young fans aren't coming to the games. Families aren't. The numbers would drop off exponentially. The attendance affects the franchise bottom line. Then the evaluation of the franchise goes down. So Clark, for everyone that sits there and says she has to speak up, she's smart. You know why? She's letting her play do the talking. She's letting her... See, some of you guys play the short game. I can tell. Some of you guys will sit down at a blackjack table with $100. You'll play a $5 or $10 hand. You'll play a couple units. You'll lose 3-4 hands in a row. You'll be down $40. And then I know you like the back of my hand and we've never even friggin' met. I guarantee you 99.9% of you will turn around and your next bet's going to be $40 or $50. Why? Because in the back of your mind, you think you're due. You're not about the long game. You're not. She, if she's playing her cards right, she could be about the long game, and she can basically say, this friggin' franchise is using me, I'm going to use them right back. And to your point, Ash, yeah, she's going to demand a queen's ransom. And if they're smart, they'll give it to her. If they have a down season, but her numbers are good, great, and they move on from the head coach, maybe that changes. Maybe she still gets that big contract, that epic, and you bring in another coach, and she's much more motivated and inspired and ready to go out there that first year under that epic contract. It's all contingent upon really next season. Everything is. Everything is. It's really, it'll play out. I mean, it's just like when you sit there with the quarterback situation in the NFL. We wait for those progressions, year number 1 to year number 2, and then the quarterback bursts on the scene and they're in line for a big-time contract. The rookie scale goes up. They're off their rookie deal. Okay, the organization decides we're moving on from this head coach. We got as far as we can. We bring in another head coach. We sign the quarterback long-term, and here we go. That's another thing that can be in play. That is another thing. So all these things you got to take in consideration. I mean, I think a lot of your points are extremely valid. A lot of you guys and girls' points are extremely valid, but you have to let it play out sometimes. And what we miss when we have conversations like that is you have to take a broader look. We don't know what these players are thinking. We don't. We just don't. And again, they could be thinking long term. They can be thinking the long game. Okay? How is it on Sophie? There's white privilege. Do you even know what that means? It's just the stupidest phrase I've ever heard in my life. What do you think? Because somebody's white, they've had everything friggin' handed to them. It's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. No, it's just, guys, stop. You're reaching. You're showing your true colors, man. You're showing exactly what you think. Now, all of a sudden, someone's got to be punished for something that happened how many years ago? Something someone wasn't even a part of? Like, people think that I've been handed stuff? Or someone else has been handed stuff? Really? So you got the white mom who's raising 3 kids working 2 jobs, going to night school. Where's the friggin' white privilege in that? Where's the right privilege in that? This kid Carrington was raised and had a pretty damn good life. Went to a pretty damn good school. Pretty damn good loving family. So what? All of a sudden you go to Stanford and all of a sudden your line of thinking changes? No. No. What happens is you're not a free thinker. You're not a leader. You're a follower. And then all of a sudden you start to what? Absorb all the contrived drivel and the nonsense that's out there. And then you become very hateful. This she's got hate in her heart. She's got hate in her heart. And it's a shame because you hate to see that. You want to sit there and get on me and say, you can't say that, that's an outlandish claim. No, it's not. Look at the way she plays the game of basketball. She's not playing the game of basketball hard. She's playing with vengeance. She's actually seeking out and trying to hurt players. There's a place in her soul that is empty. She needs to get checked. Somewhere along the line, she lost her way, and all of a sudden, she wants to play the victim, and every other person in front of her is the one holding her down, holding her back. I'm sorry. That's a dangerous friggin' line of thinking. There's a difference with having a chip on your shoulder and trying to prove yourself. But eventually, we all got to fucking grow up, and we got to look in the mirror, and we got to stop blaming everyone else. The sooner some of you guys wake up and understand that, the better off you're going to be. She knew exactly what she was doing. She tried to hurt Cunningham. But this is her MO. But the league is so afraid to step in. They don't want to do it because the commissioner is trying to appease several different masses. And you can't do that. You just can't. You can't. If you try to do that, you're never going to win. You're never going to win. It's getting to the point, if you guys really turn off your liberal, your right, your left, your woke, your canceled, just be, I don't want to say normal because I don't want to come off as condescending, but just be like a legit sports fan right now. Just like a regular sports fan, like when you were younger and you would get up and you would watch SportsCenter and you'd watch the games with your dad, watch the games with your friends, go play at halftime, and then come back and watch the games. Just be a gentler, softer, younger version of yourself as a sports fan. And put all the other stuff to the side. There is no moment, or I guess you can say there's no explanation. If you are being that true fan that I just mentioned, where you can objectively, honestly watch this product and tell me it's purely about basketball. No one can say that. That's kind of my whole argument. That's always been my argument. It's no longer about the sport of basketball. Now, when we got to that point, how we got to that point, at this moment, it doesn't matter. You know, that dog's not going to hunt anymore. But if you're really being honest, right, and if you're really trying to be fair about what we're viewing and what we're looking at, it's not a game of basketball. It is just filth. It's violence. It's nastiness. It's physicality. It's hate. It's division. It's inclusive. It's not inclusive. It's velvet rope. It's, I don't like the way you look. I don't like the way you act. I don't like your sexual preference. I don't like your line of thinking. This is not a sport. This is not a league. It has nothing to, so again, get rid of the whole cancel, the woke, the left, the right, the liberal, the conservative, the Republican, the Democrat. I got a problem when people come out and say what she said. You're basing it on what? Privilege is your ass didn't get ejected. Don't paint people with a broad stroke, just like what Reese did with Brondello. See, it's so easy to have the quick out. It's so easy to go on social media and throw something out there. Or if your job right away, you can bark back. You don't like the way I look. You don't like the way I sound. Discrimination. You're being racist towards me. Oh, you can't pronounce my last name right. It's Quinones. I'm going to file a discrimination lawsuit. Like, everyone wants to play the gotcha. The faster, the sooner these players grow up and you get rid of these nasty, race-baiting, current veteran players that are in the league, because they are the shit stirs. The faster you do that and clean up this league, maybe it has a chance. Maybe it has a chance. And that's going to take new leadership, which we know. And that's going to take people being held accountable. If they don't do that, then this league is just going to be, oh, remember that experiment? Yeah, it ran for 30 years, but then it became so racial. It was all black and white. Oh, remember that brawl they had in that one game? That's all people are going to remember. Yeah, I'm so over this. Let's blame everyone but ourselves. It's just, it's childish. It's childish. It really is. And you know what else? It shows such insecurity. It really does. Like, take advantage of what's been given to you. You have to work for it. But the last time I checked, some people have had some pretty damn good upbringing, right? And I can tell you this, in my experience, some people that have had to really grind it out in life, they're the ones that just basically stay the course, and you don't hear one complaint out of them. They're not blaming anyone. You know, you get to this point where you're like, you know, you get to a certain age, like, you want to argue with me? I tell you 2 + 2 is 4, and you want to say it's 5? Have at it. I'm not wasting my time anymore. I'm not. I refuse to do it. We all have our opinions. But I think sometimes the opinions are very misconstrued. There's no backing. There's no substance to them. They're agenda driven. They're agenda driven. That's all. I think sometimes they're agenda driven. The media doesn't help, as we know. Whoa. Let's be nice in the chat. I don't want, listen, this is what I'm saying. I do this. We allow it. Let's play nice. And by the way, if Tina wants to have a martini in the morning, Tina has earned the right to have a martini in the morning. Saying trade. I don't think I'm probably talking about the chat. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't. You just let the rest of the season play out. That's all. Let the rest of the season play out. Because if they get bounced early and then the heat really comes down, you know, again, you still got Clark. You still got Mitchell. I don't know what's going to happen to Cunningham. Like I said, she doesn't need this league. Man, I don't. What happened? I know we were just. Tell you what, we were having a nice chat. And you guys are arguing and bickering with each other, and I can see it's getting very contentious. Not good. Saw the play, and it warranted an ejection, and I would argue that it warranted suspension. But here's the thing, BB. I'm going by the body of work. So you're comparing, to be fair, apples and oranges. This player is always dirty. Always. Always, always, always dirty. Always dirty. And there was intent, is what I'm saying. There was intent. What happened? What happened? Did I get what? Did I get shut down? What happened? Who got shut down? No. No, it's not about debating one-on-one. It's not. You wouldn't believe the comments I got the other day. Oh my God. It was, I mean, I had about 13, 15, 14 straight trolls commenting on the video, and then I had to remind them, hey man, just keep watching, and guess what? Don't forget, subscribe. Oh, by the way, huge, love Linda Cohen, great pod. She has annihilated TV. She's annihilated the league. Oh my goodness, she annihilated Stephanie White. Yeah, She's a great watch. She's a great listen. Absolutely. How can you claim she's such a liar? How can you claim to not have seen the play in real time, but after the play happened, she walked over to That's my whole point. That's my whole point. How can you sit there and like in front of God, right? You're sitting there. I mean, yeah, you know what? I got to be honest. You know, I didn't see the play. Are you telling me the truth before you can get through the gates? I have theories about long-time resentments that point to the league burning itself down instead of a girl from Iowa shining. There are a lot of resentment within the league. I think a lot of it has to stem from some of these former players and some of these players that are now on TV because they are the, quote, analysts and experts. So what they say, to some, you guys believe it's the law. I don't necessarily believe that. Like McNutt, I get it, you played in college, but you didn't play in the WNBA. Now, I'm not going to, okay? I'm not going to totally dismiss your knowledge of the game. My problem with McNutt is she pushes her agenda. She plays the race card. I don't believe any of those talking heads have ever said anything glowingly or positive about Caitlin Clark. She can have a triple-double, and it's always about player B, C, D. They've never once gone out of their way to give her her flowers. To me, there's a reason why. I mean, is it something? Instead, they bash her. You can't sit there and then talk about the sisterhood. There's no sisterhood because it's a velvet rope. A sisterhood is when you got to come out and say, yeah, the officiating stinks. They need to protect the golden goose. They need to protect the player. By the way, they're glorifying Carrington's foul. I mean, that's just ridiculous. They're condoning it. She actually blamed Cunningham. Oh, yeah, you know what? Dribble the ball out. Come on. I don't know. I can't, like I said, I have 760 comments, guys. I've been on the air. I don't take breaks. I'm on the air for 2 hours pretty much every day. Plus I do videos. Plus I do radio. Plus I do broadcasts. Plus I do overnights. I get 1,000 comments in the chat. I try to respond as fast as possible. I apologize. Bingo. Michael, you said it. You definitely said it. You definitely said it. I mean, what are we learning over there, right? What are we learning over there? I don't know, man. I'm trying. I'm trying to get to the chats faster. I apologize. I'm trying, guys. I need more. I need more. Right. I need more fresh coffee. For most CC fans, it ain't about basketball either. You can't deny it. I can't speak for the fans. I can only speak to me. You guys want me to say what you want to hear. I can't speak for the fans. If you're sitting there saying there's a racial element when it comes to Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever fans, I would be obviously clueless if I didn't say there was. Of course there is. This whole league is black or white. I mean, what is that, the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about? Yeah. Absolutely. You got talking Midwest? Yeah. They think a different way. I'm not going to paint them with a broad stroke. I did radio, in small markets. I know some of the line of thinking. But it doesn't help when the media is pushing that same rhetoric, is what I'm saying. It just doesn't help. That's all. I mean, Acho's a fool too. But someone needs to pull her phone away from her. I did see it. I do. We have a definition? I don't like the way CC is backstabbed by her own teammates. Trev chimes in. All right. Not bad, not bad. I think it's a very precarious spot and position for her. I appreciate that. Unless that wasn't directed at me, but if it was, thank you. All right. Yes, it'll never be normal. I mean, is it all right if we go a little NFL tomorrow for you football guys? Is that a possibility on a Friday? I promise once this post and it's on demand, you guys can tweet on the video or comment on the video as well. And I will definitely try to engage you. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. You guys are brutal. I knew before I even came on today, I think DB said it's going to be a contentious chat. Right? And there you go. Green privilege. Exactly. Who doesn't like the mighty dollar? I just want to know what Tina's drinking on the Destin Beach. That's it, man. She's hanging out, Crab Island, enjoying herself. Joey, look at that, Joey. I get you 3 minutes ago. I mean, listen, Joey, I know what you're doing right now. What time is it over down there in Denver? You're probably, what do you got, a couple edibles? A little smoking and joking, right? You know? Probably watching highlights of Miami Vice. Maybe you're watching Entourage. Who knows? Yeah, yesterday we had 8 hours of filming. Part of a docu-series. And then we got to go back next week. Joe chimes in on X. Q, did you really say you're going to be taking phone calls? Lord, Lord, Lord. We're working on it. Because right now, like I said, we're on X. We're on YouTube. We're on SR1029 Up in the Game. A midweek version of On Q is going to be on Destin FM with the Scoreboard Show. And then there's other outlets that want to pick up the show as well. And we're trying to work in where we can get these chats to now become phone calls, which the ground rules that are going to have to be set. I mean, we're going to have a time limit like the Oscars. Remember? Stephanie White, they like me. They really, really, really like me. Tomorrow, what do we got? I got the last cannoli in my Italian bakery yesterday. Privilege or just good time. You should get a black and white cookie. Look to the cookie. Look to the cookie, my friend. Look to the cookie. I know. I will get the hype button in there. I'm sorry. I will get the hype button in there. I will definitely. I'm trying to work it all in, guys. I am. I'm trying to work it all in. Thank you. It's all noted as we continue to grow with the content. And then on the radio side, it's all noted. Well, you guys know I've been doing the radio for so long. This ain't the 10. Sometimes I go back like during the night when I'm prepping for a broadcast, and I'll just like go back and I'll look at the comments and I'll be like, how the hell did I miss that one? How did I miss that one? How did I miss that one? Never take the last cannoli. Hey, Joey. Joey, I got one for you. Leave the gun, take the cannoli. I mean, Pete should know that. I don't know what happened to Pete. Did you guys kick Pete off the chat? This is not good. Not good. Not good. I don't know where Pete is. I don't know. He'll be all right. He'll be back tomorrow. I mean, you got 9 or 10 players dropping out like flies, man. She couldn't win in the conference. She was extremely, extremely vindictive. But yet, went in Purdue, worked at ESPN, played in the WNBA, saw what she did prior to, and they decide to hire her. You just can't. You just cannot make this up. James chimes in. Appreciate that, brother. Commissioner wants to party and be friends with the players. That'll never work. She's gone. They're not re-signing her. They're not. She made the league money. She got the broadcast deals. She did the CBA. She's done. There's absolutely no idea, why in the world they think it's a good. It would be any type of good idea, to be honest, with having this commissioner continue down this path. It's not about wanting to see the matchup. You see, you guys, you're stoking the flames, man. You don't want to see a player get hurt. You don't. That does nothing. There's nothing positive about a player getting hurt. That's not good for the product. Do you want to go back and look at every single solitary thing that's happened with this league? Players can't say anything and their careers are over. To some extent, correct. But they can tweet. They can tweet certain things, and there's no recourse or ramifications. But to your point, yeah, some of these players are thinking the long game. They realize, I'm not going to jeopardize money, right? I'm not going to. Unofficial narrative, skin color, sex partner, basketball. Listen, there's no lies in that with the way this league is. Seriously, there's no lies in that. And the media has made it that way. They'll push an agenda, they'll push certain players, they'll back off certain players, they'll go after other players, but the commissioner has made it that way. The fact that she did not suspend Thomas, the fact that they waited 24 to 48 hours, and then Silver had to step in, tells you everything you need to know. The fact that before that game's even over, Brondello got suspended. These are bad optics. These are bad looks. And all they do is they just add fuel to the narrative of how this league is. No one wants to be the commissioner. Who would want to? I'll tell you, it's because they have the broadcast rights, because you have a handful of very good players, because they have multiple networks and they have a new CBA. As crazy as this sounds, Michael, it is an appealing job if you come in with a game plan and you stick with it, meaning you're not going to tolerate a lot of the nonsense and you're going to clean it up. Now, you're going to have to bring in more lawyers too, because you got to do something with the CBA and the player's contract. You have to. Ash chimes in, never seen any player in the W guarded like CC, tells you everything you need to know. Ash, been saying it for how long now? No player is... When you have all-time greats saying it, why can't we believe it? Why are we still arguing it? When all-time greats are saying, I've never seen a player guard it the way she is, double, triple, quadruple team, that opens up, that creates spacing on the floor. Other players to get theirs. It can work with a different head coach. It can work with a different head coach. That's all. All right, football tomorrow, anyone? Does anyone want to talk, football? I find it interesting White doesn't or hasn't yet called out DJ as divisive. She's not going to. She coached her. If she stood up there and she backed her and then only had a backtrack because of the pressure, she's not going to say. At this point, it's done. We're past it now. Like, she had an opportunity to do that immediately after the game. She had an opportunity, I told you, in 30 seconds as we close it out. As soon as that game's ended, first and foremost, Sophie's okay. We always have our players back. I'm glad she jumped up. I don't condone what Carrington did. I coached her. She knows better. She's a physical player, but that crossed the line. She deserved to get ejected. And if the league decides to suspend her, hey, good. That's all she had to say. And there's no 2.5 hours I'm on the air today. There's nothing, the 24 to 48 hours, none of that. And then she decides, because there's so much pressure coming down from above and backlash by the fan base and the league and media outlets, prominent figures in media calling for her dismissal, she has no choice but to come out and do her Oscar speech and smack on the table. Like I said, and talk about kindness and love. It literally reminded me of the scene in The Hurricane. Hate put me in prison. Love's going to break me out. I mean, it's like, come on. She was like Sally Field up there. Remember when Sally Field won the Oscar? They liked me. They really, really liked me. And then she's smacking on the table. Get the hell out of here with that contrived nonsense. That's a Razzie, not an Oscar. Even though I thought it was Oscar worthy. Contrived. Absolutely contrived. Bad fouls, yes. Agree. Take the last cannoli, not a good thing. Godfather reference, absolutely. And all this time, you never once offered me a cup of coffee. Ron Artest type foul. It was a hard foul. If that, someone commented again on the channel, you know, you're being too soft. That type of foul, and I guess if you're going on the level of player, like think about it, Rambis was a role player. Cunningham is a role player. Rambis got clotheslined. They sent a message, right? But that pretty much was a mini little brawl. And you're talking NBA Finals. That's the heyday. If that's Cunningham, I'm sorry, if that's Caitlin Clark, if Mitchell got hammered like that, if Miles got hammered like that, if Wilson got hammered like that, be saying the same exact thing today. Do you think she would have gotten suspended? If she clotheslined Miles or Wilson or Clark, or is it because it happened against a bit player and the league doesn't like her views? It's a question. I'll throw it out there. You guys can comment in whenever you want. FYI, tomorrow, NFL. I got to break up the monotony. I have to. Good match so much. Better get used to Miss Kelsey being at Chiefs games. Yeah, they had that private wedding. Get the hell out of here with that contrived nonsense. Q quote of the day. Yes, Rookie of the Year. I still give her a sliver of hope. MVP, even though I think we know it's gonna be Wilson. Contrived nonsense. Man, I don't know where he went. He might be lost for the sauce. We don't know. All right, tomorrow, NFL. I'm just letting you know. I want to get into some of these quarterback battles. If you like the content, if you like the channel, as I always say, the best you guys can do is share and sub and just keep commenting. I'll post some shorts. I had a couple of you guys comment because now you follow my TikTok. You see how toxic TikTok is. I cannot post anything without the hate, but it's at RichQonQ on IG and X at RichQonQ. You guys, good stuff today. I know it got a little contentious, but that's okay because I know tomorrow we will all be back at it. So, all right, going to start wrapping it up. Don't forget, we're powered by Fresh Roasted Coffee, 20% off the show notes. You can definitely subscribe, and you'll get the link, 20% off if you guys enjoy coffee. Also, we're on Sports 48, SR 1029 FM The Game. And for my Florida fans, we got a new Destin FM scoreboard show that is firing off later this week, which is really going to be tomorrow. But tomorrow, NFL. Check out the notifications. We're probably going to be firing off right around the afternoon. We also might do a little shortened version of a free-for-all Friday. We go live, a little rapid fire for about 20-25 minutes. All right, everyone play nice for the rest of the day. And again, remember, as we always say, it's just sports talk. That's it. Don't get too bent out of shape, all right? We'll mix in a little hoops tomorrow, but we go NFL heavy, maybe sprinkle in a little baseball. You guys are fantastic. I always enjoy it. You guys hung with me for 2.5 hours. You guys are beast. I'm not going to say protect the species, but you guys are beast. You guys are unbelievable. You guys are the right kind of dog with the DAWG, not the DOGS. Like, comment, subscribe. Also, when I post, let me know where you're listening from. Give me a follow on X at RichQonQ, IG at RichQonQ, and of course the channel at RichQonQ. As always, this has been a Thursday edition of On Cue. I'm your host, Rich Quinones, powered by Fresh Roasted Coffee, Play It Again Sports, Three Brooks Bourbon, and Get Ready with Tea. We will talk to you mañana on a Football Friday. Get your football questions ready. We're going football heavy for about an hour plus tomorrow. We'll start to look into week 1, betting lines, and we'll start to dive into a little more of these training camp battles as well. As always, be safe, be sound. I'm Rich Quinones. Hasta luego, buen día.